market open, what are the trends which you can identify for our viewers?
Very good morning, Nikun. Firstly, thank you for inviting me at this show. For key indices, again, they are having a very lackluster session, lackluster start for the day. Although previous day we have seen a kind of a flat pattern breakout on the hourly chart for Nifty, so that is a positive signal for the benchmark index. But overall, the trend remains sideways to positive. So I expect that until we witness a very decisive and sustainable buying above the zone of 25,550, till that time we can witness some kind of continuation in the consolidation, and only after breaching the zone of 550 we can see continuation on the higher end towards the zone of 670. That is the bearish gap on the daily time frame chart. So till that time I'm having more focus on the thematical movers rather than the key indices.
Okay, and Osho, any stocks that are looking good to trade to you, either on the buy or the sell side?
Yes, I have identified two buy counters. First one is from the AMC space. AMC space has been gaining good traction in the recent period. So first counter that is on my radar is ABSL AMC. So Aditya Birla AMC is looking very positive to me. It has seen a very decisive surge from the zone of nearly 740 and is now hovering around 814-15 kind of a zone. So one can look for buying opportunity in this counter. On the higher end, I am expecting a target of nearly 850 and 790 should be kept as a stop loss. The second counter is from the FMCG basket, that is Tata Consumer. So comparatively, this counter have not performed as per the whole peer company, but it is at a very strong support and has started gaining some traction. So I am expecting that in the coming period, Tata Consumer can see a very decisive upsurge in the short-term period. So I'm expecting a target of nearly 1145 and 1080 should be kept as a stop loss for short-term traders.
Okay, paint stocks are in focus today because of multiple upgrades. What are the thoughts on paint stocks and especially Asian Paints in particular?
Yes, paints counter are looking very positive. Asian Paint, if I have to say on the technical front, then after a very elongated period of consolidation, the counter have started gaining traction. And positive side is that after many days, the counter have surged above the 200 simple moving average. So long-term trend has been broken on the higher end. So I expect that in the short-term period, yes, there can be some kind of profit booking that can give a counter a cool down towards the zone of 2450, 2470, 2420 kind of a zone. But on the higher end, I am expecting now the trend has reversed in paint counters, and this Asian Paint particularly can see a target of nearly 2700 to 2760 in a short-term period. So one should look for buying opportunity in this counter also.
From the entire paint segment, but also once again talking at the index level, no matter how tempered the market has been lately, you've seen the small cap end of the market really taking the lead. And today too, even while we're flattish, you have the small cap index that's up 0.5%. Osho, what are you making of the move that we're seeing on the small cap space in some of these names like Garden Reach, Delivery, Loris? They're doing very well. So could you give us a chart check on those as well?
See, overall, the whole mid cap and small cap is again gaining some kind of traction, and those are the sectors which are occupied by the traders fraternity, and they are keeping the whole fraternity occupied for the whole day. So I expect that overall mid cap and small cap indices are particularly looking better, and they are having more volatility. So obviously, there is a high potential for the traders fraternity to take a chance on these counters. And specifically coming to the stock specific action, then I assume that delivery is having a very strong traction. There has been long addition in this counter, and the counter have also gained decently in the recent period. But only concern is that the technical parameters have now reached the overbought terrain. So that should be a concerning factor. But overall, we can expect some kind of profit booking or cooling off in the counter. Else, the overall technical parameters is very positive, and one should look for dips to accumulate the counter.
View on banks, especially HDFC Bank above 2000. I mean, that is like a sumo stock which is moving. Can it have a snowball effect on other banks also?
See, overall, HDFC no doubt has been gaining decent traction, and being a heavyweight, we are not expecting a very significant kind of a move in the short-term period. But overall, the technical structure is very positive, and I expect that in the coming period, there is a high potential for whole banking index to give a very strong outperformance in the short-term period. So I expect, yes, no doubt, HDFC is looking as a kind of a very strong outperformer from the zone. But in spite of that, even one can look for Kotak Bank and Axis Bank. Both are looking very positive. Kotak Bank yesterday has given a kind of a breakout, and Axis Bank again is hovering around a very strong support zone. So these counters can be seen as a decent. These counters can provide a decent move in the recent period and can look for buying opportunity.
Osho, some of the movers today, and I'm just looking at the move on Loris Labs, on Lupin. Identify how is it that you're gonna, reading into the charts of some of these pharma players, in particular Loris and Lupin?
See, overall, firstly, Loris Labs in this counter has seen a kind of a breakout from the zone of nearly 670 kind of a zone. And from there onwards, the rally has been very vertical. Now the counter have surged more than 100 points in less than one trading week. So I expect that there can be a period of cool off or profit booking that can be seen. But overall, on a broader term time frame, there has been very strong breakout. So one should look for buying opportunity in this counter also, because on the weekly time frame, there has been breakout above the zone of 670, 700 kind of a zone. So any dip towards the zone of 720 or 700 can be seen as a buying opportunity in this counter. At present, the risk reward is not very much favorable, so one should wait for kind of correction or profit booking to start accumulating Loris Lab. And coming to Lupin, then this counter has not performed very strongly in the recent period, but there has been a kind of a consolidation, a strong consolidation in this counter. I expect that once it breaches the zone of 2000 on a decisive and sustainable manner, then we can see some kind of sustained buying in this counter. So 2000 is the zone that one should keep on their radar list. Once it breaches the zone of 2000, then one can look for buying opportunity.
Okay, so that's a take on some of these pharma-related counters and diagnostics. But Osho, what's your view on FMCG? Today, once again, you have FMCG that's emerging as the top sectoral leader. But you have names that are contributing to the action that have not done anything meaningful in the last 6 months. Now that we've started seeing a little bit of an uptick in FMCG, do you believe now would be a good time to make fresh buys in some of these stocks?
Definitely, I expect that FMCG was quite out of limelight from a very long period of time. No one was talking about HUL or Tata Consumer or Godrej CP. But in the recent period, what is happening that this counter have started gaining traction, and specifically the heavyweight HUL from a very strong support of nearly 2200 now have started gaining traction. There has been some positive developments on the technical front, multiple positive crossovers, and now the counter is above 200 as simple moving average. So I expect that from here onwards, the risk reward is very much favorable in the FMCG space. So one should definitely look for buying opportunity in this counter. These are slow growth movement kind of a scenario, but I expect that in the coming period, HUL has a potential to test 2650 to 2700 from short to medium term perspective. So one can definitely look for buying opportunity in majority of the FMCG counters.
Right, okay. Let's, Osho, just stay with us. Lots more to talk about with you, but let's address